Can I date? At 18, Kiki had never been in a relationship. While her friends chatted about crushes and dates, she often felt like an outsider. One afternoon, her best friend, Zoe, nudged her during lunch. "So, Kiki, anyone catching your eye lately?" Kiki chuckled. "Not really. I mean, dating sounds fun, but I don't know if I'm ready." That evening, Kiki sat by her window watching the sunset. She pulled out her journal and began to write. "Do I know who I am? I'm still figuring that out. Am I looking for someone to complete me? No, but companionship sounds nice. Can I handle the ups and downs of a relationship? Maybe, but I value my peace." She remembered an article she read about relationship readiness, emphasizing the importance of understanding oneself and not rushing into dating due to peer pressure or loneliness. Kiki smiled, realizing that it's okay to take her time. Dating would come when she felt truly ready, not when others thought she should be. With a newfound sense of clarity, when Kiki decided she was ready to take a chance, she would start small, attending social events and trying online dating. Kiki's openness will lead her to meet someone special. Kiki wasn't the loudest in the room. She wasn't the one posting stories every hour or running to every party. But she had something rare, a quiet kind of openness. She smiled at strangers. She asked how people really felt and waited for the real answer. She didn't pretend to have it all together, and somehow that made others feel like they didn't have to either. Kiki had never dated anyone, not once. She had romanticized the idea, of course, who hadn't, but her actual experience ranged somewhere between accidentally made eye contact with a cute barista and once got asked out by a chatbot. At 20, she decided it was time to dive in. She went on a coffee date with a guy who claimed to be a professional interpreter. He spent 40 minutes talking about himself and some unpleasant stuff. She left the cafe feeling weird and also slightly hungry. Her best friend set her up on a blind date with someone totally normal. He brought his mum. His mum. Kiki spent an hour pretending she loved stamp collecting while sipping a lukewarm lemonade under the watchful gaze of a woman named Keisha. She went on a walk date with a guy who wanted to get lost in conversation. They literally got lost in a park and spent 2 hours arguing about whether jollof tastes better than waki. It does. Kiki knew that. He didn't believe her. A park ranger had to mediate. She took a break, taking short power nap, watched shorts on Learn from Metaday YouTube channel. One sunny afternoon at a used bookstore, Kiki asked the man across the aisle if he'd read the book in her hands. He hadn't, but he smiled and said, "Let's read it and talk about it next week." She didn't know it then. But that little moment, that tiny leap of openness, would become the start of something beautiful. Sometimes it's not about being loud, it's about being real. Kiki never planned on dating. Like, ever. Love felt complicated, messy, a little scary. She liked her routines, oat milk lattes, solo walks, her plant named Kevin. Then came awkward texts, ghost emojis, and a date who brought a pet lizard to dinner. But then she met someone who didn't rush, who listened, who laughed at her worst puns and didn't flinch when she said she talks to her plants. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't fireworks every second, but it was honest, real. And somehow, in all the weirdness, Kiki realized love wasn't about being ready. It was about being brave. Her journey wasn't smooth. It was unbelievable, unpredictable, and exactly what she needed. And guess what? Kevin the plant got a new spot on the windowsill, right next to his owner's favorite person.